Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I am Roseanne Zen, and I am going to be responding to some bullshit from LifeSite News. The title of this particular pile of shit is Contraception is being used to, in quotes, and their quotes, not my quotes, separate kids from parents. And that's from a Catholic doctor. And that same Catholic doctor is in a picture that's on the top of this fucking page. And he looks like Herman Munster's reanimated corpse. Like... it's like you put the guy who played Herman Munster's body in a pet cemetery and then just let what happened. So the author of this is Pete Buklinski, and I'll leave a link to it if you want to go read it for yourself. But let's get to it. Before I do that, actually, the tags for this are Amoris Laetitia, or whatever the fuck, Humanae Vitae at 50, setting the context, parental rights, Pope Francis, and Thomas Ward. That's the Catholic doctor who looks like, Herman Munster's corpse from Pet Sematary. and I mean that as if he's from an actual Pet Sematary, not from... because he was still alive when that movie was being made. Because he's in it. Anywho, let's get to it. Contraception not only separates the life-creating purpose of sex from the unitive purpose, but it has been used by enemies of the family as a wedge, ostensibly called sex education. Yes, because, going to experts and having experts teach kids about sex, and not having the morons who fucked to produce that child. So bad. To separate children from their parents, stated a Catholic family doctor during a conference in Rome today. Well, you want to separate the parents from the children, but so they can go get fucked by a goddamn Catholic priest. Fucking prove me wrong. Contraception separates both the procreative from the unitive, and the procreated, the children, from their parents. Sometimes that's not a bad thing. Like the Duggars. They shouldn't have fucking as many kids as they do, because one of them ended up raping two of the fucking other kids. Also, Joseph Fritzl, I think his daughter might have wanted to be taken away from her dad as humanly fucking, fast as humanly possible. But, would you argue that his parental rights were fucking very important? Because, if parental rights are the be-all, end-all, you have to take a lot of shit in with that. And I don't think you're prepared for that. Anywho. Stated Dr. Thomas Ward at a conference titled Humanae Vitae at 50, setting the context that was organized by Voice of the Family. The conference took place at the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas. Ward, founder and president of the National Association of Catholic Families, and I'd argue pedophile apologists and enablers, because you're Catholic and have kids and are in the proximity of fucking Catholic priests. Attendees that the removal of parents' rights as primary educators started with contraception and its indoctrination in sex education. Again, firstly, contraception's a fucking pill or a condom or what have you. It's not a living, breathing fucking thing. It can't, advocate for itself. It can't teach itself. But again, parents know fuck all about jack shit when it comes to the procreative act and or just fucking in general. Or being happy. As evidenced by all the miserable fucking people that are put together because of, the fact that one of them got the other one fucking pregnant and they then proceed to bicker at each other about shit. Which is not great. And again, parents don't know shit about fuck all when it comes to sex education, sexuality, what have you. So why not have experts teach this shit to the children so they get a, reliable source on that shit instead of the parents. It has now metastasized to include underage abortion, which again, might stem from getting raped by a fucking priest, which still is going on in the Catholic fucking priesthood, but the Catholics don't kind of fucking like to admit that shit. General medical services, which is, I guess, bad. General medical care is terrible. School homosexual and gender theory indoctrination, which is really funny because you're a Catholic. You basically push indoctrination on your kids and have pushed indoctrination on your kids from day fucking one, and that's all. Jesus died for you, and hell is a scary place, and which isn't, that's I'm pretty sure that's the definition of fucking indoctrination. It's also the definition of a fucking cult, and in Germany, even imprisonment of parents who exercise their primary right as educators, he said. Well, it's mainly due to the fact, if you're talking about who I think you're talking about, homeschool is illegal in fucking Germany, or was it the point of this case? I'm not sure if it's fucking still illegal, but it was illegal, and you're supposed to send your kid to either a private school or public school, and those parents decided not to do fucking either of those things, and they turned out to be fucking worthless cum stains. So, the conference was organized to commemorate Pope Paul VI's 1968 encyclical Humanae Vitae, of human life, which celebrates its 50th anniversary next year. The encyclical taught that each and every marriage act must remain open to the transmission of human life, and called the use of contraception, including the pill, condom withdrawal, and other methods, intrinsically wrong. That was fucking said by a guy who's never touched a woman, who never impregnated a woman, and probably couldn't identify the clitoris or a vagina if you gave him a step-by-step instruction on what the fuck those were. But let's fucking believe something that's from the 1960s, from an old, doddering piece of shit who exerts a lot of control over people. Makes a lot of sense. And again, pretty sure fucking predator sex abuse by priests fucking happened during the 60s and 70s. He didn't do a fucking thing about it, did he? Nope! So, fuck Pope John Paul VI. In his rusty, crusty ass in hell. Ward outlined in his talk how his experience as a family doctor in the early 70s revealed that many young girls were being indoctrinated into early contraceptive sex through sex education often emanating from the Family Planning Association under its many masks. And I trust those fucking people over Catholic priests, again, because of all the, sexual fucking abuse that takes place within the Catholic priesthood, by the Catholic priesthood, to children. The most interesting influence was the priest school chaplain who had written all of the contraceptive methods on the blackboard, he related. The doctor's further research into the matter revealed that a vast network of national and international agencies, ideological, commercial, and political, were working together to promote the sexualization of children and its necessary prerequisite, the removal of parents' rights. Again, if parents' rights are the be-all, end-all, then you should, the Joseph Fritzl would still be able to rape his fucking daughter and his, this is the fucking, this is the logical progression of your, logical conclusion of your fucking thought process. Parental rights are all the best, blah, 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 even for those people who are fucking awful, Also, what kind of parent wants to know that much about their kid's sex life? Just saying. It's creepy. It's creepy, right? I'm not the only fucking one who thinks that's fucking creepy as shit. Fucking. And how the fuck is it sexualization of kids if you're just telling them this might come up from your peers? You can say no, but if you say yes, here are the things you can do to prevent pregnancy and all this other shit. And diseases and all this other stuff that goes along with that. Ward said it became clear that the many clergy within the Catholic Church who had given up on the wrongness of contraception had also begun to accept the replacement of parents by the state. Which again, if parents aren't supposed to be replaced by the state, why the fuck do we have CPS in America? Why the fuck do we have DIFUS? Why the fuck do we have any of these things that are supposed to take kids away from their parents? You know, it's like, if parents are the best, you know, if it's the best environment, like, why the fuck do kids get taken away from parents who are abusive? Like, if parents are parents, if parents are the fucking best, like, you're not saying with asterisks with all of this shit. You're just like, parents' rights, blah, 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 blah. You know, the Catholic Church teaches that the rights of parents over their children is irreplaceable and inalienable, and therefore incapable of being entirely delegated to others or usurped by others. With respect to sex education, the Church specifically calls it the basic right and duty of parents, which must always be carried out under their attentive guidance, whether at home or in educational centers, chosen and controlled by them. Again, that's the Catholic Church telling incompetent parents that they are the be-all end-all of what, you know, how to teach your kids how to do sex, which again is really fucking creepy if you go into weird detail within the sex act with your, you know. Also, if you're getting the shit from your Catholic priest, again, because the whole Catholic priest rape kids thing, it's weird. It's very weird. The doctor highlighted the link that he said exists between rejecting children via contraception, some of which, such as the pill, is abortifacient, and again, who gives a shit? Abortion's legal in the United States of fucking America up until a certain fucking point, and that's not enough for you cockstains. You want to make it illegal in the entire United States again, because reasons. And the rejection of parental rights over their children. He suggests that it is not coincidental that, along with Pope Francis' seeming openness to allowing Catholic couples to contracept, you know, because that's the responsible thing to do, and also he's trying to mend his, you know, the church's fucking, you know, their perception by the, you know, the public because of the whole child rape thing. Such as in the case of the Zika virus, comes also in undermining of parental rights over their children. Which I love this shit, right? You know, it's like, Zika's a fucking dangerous disease, right? You know that, right? It's fucked up. It's like fuck contraception in all instances, even if it would prevent a fucking child from gaining a fucking deadly disease. He noted that how 94% of bishops during the 2015 Synod on the Family voted in favor of the statement that family, while maintaining its primary space in education, cannot be the only place for teaching sexuality. Again, good fucking idea, because parents know jack shit about fuck all, unless they're licensed sexologists, and even then they might not actually want to do that, because it's weird. It's fucking weird that parents want to have this kind of, you know, granular, you know, fucking control over their kids. It's weird. It's weird to me. It seriously is. That's why I keep fucking bringing it up. It's fucking weird. Commented Ward, with this doublespeak, it's like, basically what they said is, you know, the family is important, but other sources might be good. It's not doublespeak. It's just like, they obscured that they had in practice abandoned millions of Catholic families to indoctrination by the birth control and homosexual lobby, which they're in better fucking hands than the Catholic fucking priesthood. So, you're defending pedophiles, Mr. Ward. Ward also noted how Pope Francis, in his 2016 exhortation Amoris Laetitia, the Joy of Love, did not defend the parents' rights as primary educators in his chapter where he mentioned the need for sex education. Presumably because he's fucking smart enough to know parents know jack shit about fuck all. We need to have, you know, experts teaching this shit. Fucking The doctor also noted how in the Pontifical Council for the Family 2016 Sex Ed program for teens called The Meeting Point, failed to mention anything about parents being the primary educators of their children, especially with regard to sex education. Again, I have to say this shit. Why the fuck do you want to have this kind of control over your kid's sex life? Like, fucking weird, right? All this becomes more frightening when one remembers that Pope Francis has led 100,000 young people in repeatedly chanting, "It takes a village to raise a child." The title of Hillary Clinton's book on her vision of the state rather than parents looking after their children, said Ward. I'm pretty fucking sure "it takes a village to raise a child" also is a fucking thing. It's a fucking phrase that's been around for a long fucking time. It didn't just spring up with Hillary fucking Clinton. Village to raise a child. Let's see what comes up when I put that into Google. Might be the book. There's a proverb. Okay, let's go to the Wikipedia. Which means that it takes an entire community to raise a child. The child has the best ability to become a healthy adult if the entire community takes an active role in contributing to the rearing of the child. The proverb has been attributed to African cultures. In 2016, NPR decided to research the origins of the proverb and concluded it was unable to pinpoint its origins, though academics say the proverb nevertheless holds the true spirits of some African cultures. Examples of African societies with proverbs which translate to "it takes a village" including the following: Lunyoro. There's a proverb that says, I'm not going to pronounce that because I can't, whose literal translation is "a child does not grow up only in a single home." Kihana, or Kihaya, which is Bahaya. There's a saying, I'm not going to butcher African dialects, which translates as "a child belongs not to one parent or home." Kijita, which is also Wahita, or Wajita. There's a proverb which says, again, I'm not going to fucking say it, meaning regardless of child's biological parents, its upbringing belongs to the community. In Swahili, the proverb, I'm not going to fucking read this shit because I don't know African dialects and I don't know how to pronounce that properly, approximates to the same. So, yeah. Just saying. Fucking Hillary Clinton said it, so it must be bad. You know. Ward concluded his talk with a disconcerting question. Ladies and gentlemen, because of Amores Laetitia and the deeply disturbing possibility of a revision of Humanae Vitae, these questions must now be asked. Has, in the field of sexuality, the teaching of the Church on the right of the parent, the primary educator, been revoked in this pontificate? He said. And if so, who will protect millions of Catholic children from indoctrination by the wolves in the population and homosexualist lobbies and their powerful allies in the Vatican? Where will our children hide, he added. Away from Catholic priests, I hope? Fucking, I don't have to answer that question, mainly because I don't have a kid. But fucking, I trust the gay people over fucking the Catholic Church in every instance. There are 3 comments. Let's read them. Barry Goland. Ridiculous as this may seem, in the UK, teachers can issue the pill to underage children without having to contact their parents. However, merely putting a sticking plaster on requires parental consent. I love how you don't link to a source saying that. Anna Milan. People in favor of contraception and abortion never consider that they could have been victims of such a policy. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have, actually. I have. It's like, whatever, you know. Like, I wasn't. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Look how great I turned out. Would they honestly say their parents had a right to abort the men's siblings in order to have a more pleasant life? Probably, if they're being honest, yes. Again, yeah, if I wasn't born, maybe, you know, fucking things wouldn't, you know, would have been so bad for my parents. They maybe wouldn't have stayed together as long as they did. You know, if my sister hadn't been born, you know, maybe they would just have, like, 2 ships passing in the night, they would have just gone past each other. But, you know, they had my sister, and then they had me, and they were kind of stuck together for, you know, until he fucking died. So, yeah. Anywho, next comment. Pedrati. Decade after decade, our children have been and continue to be the innocent victims of the policies of churchmen instead of the recipients of their pastoral protection through their fidelity to truth. Again, Catholic priests rape kids. You know, just saying. And I like it's like the innocent victims of the policies of churchmen. Like, who the fuck? What kind of idiot's like, I'm going to take how I live my life from the church? You know? Like, who the fuck does that? I honestly don't know who the fuck does that. It's just dumb. Anywho, ta-ta. Have a wonderful day.